So in terms of fentanyl, we're seeing two types of fentanyl in Canada. The prescribed fentanyl, commonly available in a patch, but is also available as an injectable solution, usually again in hospitals. But what we're seeing in terms of the overdoses, especially in BC and Alberta, is that illicit form that's being sent over from China in that powdered form, and now it's being incorporated into tablets and sold as something else, such as oxycodone. The concern with this sufentanil is that it is a very potent medication, and now we have 10 vials out there, and the question is, what's going to happen to those vials? Is someone going to mix them in to, again, a powdered form and sell it as, again, oxycodone? Or even more concerningly, would someone inject it directly? And if they're not used to opioids in their system, I think it would be almost certain trouble for them. Respiratory depression, definitely a risk of overdose and death. I'm very, very concerned for the safety of folks who may be using medications and drugs that they purchase off the street. So anyone who is a user should be extremely cautious in purchasing anything off the street. The two cautions that I always like to give is always have a naloxone kit on hand, the antidote that can temporarily reverse an overdose while you wait for the ambulance to arrive. And now we have our Good Samaritan Act in place where folks will not be pursued legally if they're just calling for help for their friend who's overdosed. And secondly is don't use alone, because the concern with these medications is they can cause you get kind of sleepy, you might sort of pass out, and then your breathing slows, and the fear is that it stops. In those stages, you can't call for help yourself. You can't administer naloxone to yourself. So never use alone. So that's my concern, that folks are at risk of harm should this be incorporated into stuff they're purchasing.